Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to NerdTube. We are talking Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 2, Episode 10, First Contact. And I am here with a couple of cohorts who know their Star Trek. First of all, Cousin Cheeto, how you doing, mate?
Hanging in there. How about yourself? I know my Star Trek so well that I know that the captain of the Enterprise E was Captain Commodore Janeway.
Sorry, I'm having a little problem here.
And the guy to the bottom is...
Sorry, I apologize. Sorry. And beneath me, we also have Steve the Peace Nick. How you doing, mate?
I don't think Janeway was the captain of the Enterprise E.
It was Captain Chakotay Janeway. Excuse me.
I don't think. Okay, fine.
All right, no problem. Okay, so today was the final episode of season 2. Nice shirt, by the way, Steve.
I'm on backwards.
Wonderful.
Like
yes, you just need to cut those sleeves, and you got yourself a perfect wife beater.
Yeah.
All right. Now, today was the final episode of season 2, and I very much enjoyed this episode. Initially, I thought it started off a bit weird with the petulance of the senior staff, but overall it ended up being a thoroughly good episode, different from last season, which I very much appreciate, but also left us with a cliffhanger. But before we start breaking down this episode overall, I'll start with you, Cousin Cheeto. What do you think of episode 10 of season 2?
I thought it was really good. I'm kind of glad they went a different route than than they did at the end of last season. I mean, there's an Excelsior inspired ship in this episode, which I was loving. I love the Excelsior. I love the design of it.
Yeah, I knew you'd be shooting a load over that.
Excelsior class, just like modernized, like TNG modernized. So I mean, it had like the Enterprise E nacelles, and so I really enjoyed seeing that. That was actually really cool. I didn't know that ship existed until this episode.
The Archimedes you're talking about. The Archimedes.
Yeah, the Archimedes. So I mean, I don't remember what class it was called, but yeah. So I was very happy with it. So, and this episode was great. I mean, we'll get more into details, but I really enjoyed the ending. I thought it was really well done. I thought that the suspense was there because I really felt like this episode could have gone either way. So like a good ending or a bad ending. So.
We have Facebook user calling me Zam. This could be many people, somebody I owe money to, or it could be a friend. You never know. All right.
I think
Stevie, sorry, go on, mate.
I think it's pronounced Sam!
In the Khan style, I know what you mean. So, Steve, before we start breaking down this episode, what did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed pretty much the whole season. It's of all the new tracks that are on the air, it's my favorite. And I really did appreciate this one. It was a lot of fun, and can't wait till the next season begins, so we can see what the follow-ups are going to be.
Okay, this particular Facebook user is a mate of mine from the poker circuit back in England. He's now currently residing in Australia. His name is Rick, and welcome, Rick. Rick is somebody I've met on and off in my life, but it's good to see him with us today. All right, so this episode had another blast from the past, which is always nice to see in Lower Decks. I've got some of my notes here, so I was going to pull it up. We had Captain Sonia Gomez. Now, she famously spilled hot chocolate on Picard. Was it in season 1 or season 2? Because they were wearing the old uniforms.
It was like season 2. It's the one where they first introduced the Borg.
Okay, fair enough. And she spilled hot chocolate. She was a bit of a klutz back then. And there were some nice moments with her. It was good to see her back. And she's now the captain, from being a lower decker herself. She's now the captain of the USS Archimedes. We also find out, and we also have Daniel Vance here. Howdy doody. We also find out early on in this episode that Captain Freeman has been promoted, and she'll be leaving the Cerritos. Now, initially, Mariner finds out about this after bumping into Jennifer, because them two just hate each other for the sake of hating each other. But she finds out about this, and she's obviously pissed off because Mariner this season has a constant chip on her shoulder. And I like the way they've changed Mariner this season, because in season 1 she was pretty much the perfect person. In season 2 she's been far from perfect, and I very much appreciate that. I really do. And she initially tells the senior staff about Captain Freeman leaving the Cerritos, and then they have a massive tiff over Captain Freeman leaving the Cerritos. Something I felt was a bit out of place, but I just went with it. It's fair enough, and it was nice. It was a little bit comedic at the time. But how did you find it? Because to see the behavior of the first officer and your security officer and your chief engineer acting like little bitches, I would find that a bit annoying if I was the captain, regardless of the fact that I was leaving. Would you? A bit out of place as well. Is it Steve?
On this show, everything is in place. If it was one of the other shows, yeah, it would be out of place, but not here.
I think even for this show, I felt, considering we've seen the competence of the crew, I felt that was a bit weird personally, regardless of this show being comedic. It just didn't feel right. I mean, like, you had Phillips effing and blinding, for fuck's sake, and like properly, like, you hear the odd swear word here and there, but he was letting loose. What about yourself, Cousin Cheeto?
I agree with you. I felt it was kind of out of place where they were all kind of butthurt about her leaving. And like them being like, "Oh, you never told us." And it's like, I feel like they're like, they should have known that, like, she would tell them when the time was right. So I did feel that part itself was a little odd. But I mean, they didn't linger on it too long. Like, Mariner lingered on it longer than the other crew did.
Yeah. And I'm cool with Mariner lingering on it because it's her daughter. She's her mum, so that was fine by me. But the rest of the crew, I felt that was a bit weird. Tendi as well. She thinks she's gonna be. Now, there's one particular character whose name always escapes me, and that's the Doctor. Is that the name of the Doctor? Dr. Tiana.
Tiana.
Yeah, for some reason that name always escapes me. But anyway, Tendi thinks initially that she's going to be kicked off, sick bay, or kicked off to Cerritos, because she sees the Dr. Tiana delete her records, and because of that, she starts freaking out. But then Rutherford, being the lovely guy that he is, decides to take her on a trip around the Cerritos, a little memory lane trip. But he's also having issues himself because he's constantly getting error messages in his visor, and we'll come to that a little bit. But I don't know if you guys want to mention the fact that Tindy's constantly paranoid. I'll start with you, Steve.
That's also Rick.
Yes, okay. I'm glad that Rick watches Lower Decks. Yeah, Mariner, she does have abandonment issues. She was really upset when Boimler left. So yeah, she definitely has those issues. I agree with you, Rick. Okay, I guess I'll ask you then, first of all, Cheeto. What do you think Tindy's a bit over paranoid, or not being able to confront issues, like maybe speak to the Doctor instead of running away like a little girl?
I mean, I think it's all right. Like, I mean, it kind of fits with the character. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's an Orion, so I always feel like she should be a little bit more confident or a little bit more aggressive. And I mean, there were points in this episode where she was a little bit like when she was basically screaming at Mariner to go talk to her mom or whatever. I mean, there were some points where I was like, oh, okay. There's that aggressive side of Tindy, but I think she's overly cautious because that's just how she's been trained to be, because she's just like, I'm a member of the Federation. I can't be like super aggressive like normal Orion people are. So, especially women, because women in the Orion Syndicate are the head honchos.
Yep.
So, she has to watch that she's not overstepping her bounds, because she doesn't probably want people to think that she's being overly aggressive. So, but no, I wouldn't say it was funny, but it kind of fit for me when she was kind of getting a little overly aggressive. I'm like, oh, there's the real Tindy coming out.
I would say overall, before I pass it on to you, Steve, I said overall in this episode, if I felt more invested in this episode than was laughing at some of the stuff that happened in this episode. It felt more like a actual Star Trek episode than a comedic episode, if you know what I mean. Steve, what do you think of Tendy's sort of issues? Do you think she needs to be a bit more upfront and instead of running away and not dealing with the issues?
I think she's
You know what I mean?
I think she's growing and maturing and learning to deal with, instead of being in charge naturally because she's a Ryan female. She's been trying to figure out how to fit into, being a lower decker, being part of a structure where she is, an ensign and has to take command or has to take orders from command. She's still trying to figure out just how much confidence she can allow for herself, and where's the line that that would be stepped over when she starts giving orders. I think that she's growing into it.
And yeah, I mean, she reminds me, she's a bit like the Tilly. Would you agree?
Yeah,
a bit like Tilly in a sense, and hopefully we'll see with what transpires in this episode. Hopefully we'll see maybe a more commanding Tendy next season, but we'll get to that a bit later. I positively love the copper look of the unarmored Cerritos. The purple lighting on it from the meteor storm was beautiful. Yes, and I'm going to be getting onto that right now, Daniel. See, in this episode, the meat and potatoes of this episode is basically the Archimedes making first contact with this planet called, I think it's called, I wrote it down.
I think it's like
Laperia. And they're going to make first contact with this planet. But as they go to do that, a solar flare comes out of the sun of the solar system they're in, and it hits a planetoid, destroying it, turning it into meteorites. And it has a cyclonic, as I think Rutherford said, a cyclonic effect on all metal things and shit like that, fucking over the Archimedes and making it drift in space. But unfortunately, it's also being pulled by the gravity of Laperia, and it's going to crash into that planet, making first contact. A terrible thing to happen for that planet. So that becomes a rescue mission then for the Cerritos to stop that from happening. But they will also go through the same issues as the Archimedes if they try to rescue the Archimedes. So they come up with a plan. And this is initially a plan that Rutherford comes up with after Mariner and Freeman are having an argument in the captain's yacht, which was a very nice yacht, by the way. I'm surprised they have a ship like that in the Cerritos. Yeah, go on.
You also forgot to mention the big debut of Cetacean Ops.
I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot.
Then.
That's a little bit later on. That's Seacoast DSV we're going on there, man. I'll be getting to that in a second. But yes, we have the captain's yacht, and then Rutherford and Tindy are hiding in there initially. Well, they're not hiding in there, but they were in there just because Rutherford's given the tour. And then obviously when Freeman and Mariner come in there, they have to hide. But once they hear Mariner and Freeman argue over like lowering defenses and stuff like that, it's more of a personal thing between the two. He correlates that with lowering the defenses of the ship, which is how they're able to go into that cyclonic field, space meteorite field, to save the Archimedes. Now, this plan is going to take several hours, and it will require every member of the crew to do it, to strip the ship of all its hull plating. And about 11 hours, and then about, I think, 20 hours or so, the ship's, the Archimedes is going to crash. So they've got a very small window to do all of this. And so they start stripping the ship of all the plating. And then, as Daniel Vance mentioned, he liked the copper look of the ship. Did you guys like the look of the underbelly of the ship, so to speak? Under the skin, the flesh of the ship?
Sure. It looks better than me without my clothes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but this is like the tech jargon we get in lots of episodes, and it was good to see some proper tech jargon in this episode, as a way of to science their way through all of this stuff. And Rutherford, being just an ensign, was able to figure it out. Very much appreciate that. So we're now getting into the hull plating. It's being removed, and one plate is stuck, and Billups, he can't remove it, but they have to make the rescue now. So Freeman basically says, okay, we're going to have to try and remove this on the fly because we need to go rescue the Archimedes. And they're obviously drifting as well. They're not even in a way accelerating there. They have to use their momentum to get there. And they also removed the view screen as well. because the view screen can't be activated. They've got to do all of this thing manually. It's like basically sailing a ship in space, which is pretty cool. So so we get to see an element part of the ship. What did you call it again, Bobby?
The cetacean ops.
I don't know. Now I don't know about you guys. It's amazing how we remember all these shows from the past, like Babylon 5 and all that shit. But Sequest DSV was something I fucking loved as a kid. I really loved Sequest DSV. There was two seasons only, weren't there? There was was it only 2 seasons?
I don't
One
know.
of them had
3, I think.
2 or 3.
One of
I'm
them-
not sure.
One of them had Michael Ironside, who was perfect for it. I half expected Curve's test moment with someone being trapped in the area of the hull plating as it hits. Yeah, I guess, but I think after we had the Shaq's death, I don't think people would have probably thought, oh, he'll probably be back next season.
Yeah, I didn't. That's what I was hoping we wouldn't get this season, because I mean, unless they're actually going to do it and make it stick, I don't want them to do what they did with Shaq's again.
Yeah.
I mean, I can forgive it once, but if they do it again,
Yeah,
it doesn't stick, it's just going to be lazy writing, in my opinion.
I totally agree.
The idea of there being a cetacean room somewhere on board ship was introduced in the Next Generation first season, when the episode "The Bow Breaks," when the kids are taken away or kidnapped, and one of the kids does a carving of dolphins, and the people are like, "What are those? They're dolphins. We saw them on board the ship a couple weeks ago when we went down to the cetacean room."
Yeah,
So-
they make a big deal about it over at Trek Culture too. I mean, that's a YouTube channel that I watch a lot, and I mean, cetacean. I mean, it's in the original. Like, cetacean ops is in the schematics in the books and stuff like that.
Yes, and I have
manuals.
all the blueprints and stuff over on the wall. I'm sorry.
But yeah, they have like actual cetacean ops in the schematics of the Enterprise D. So it has always been a thing.
But it's like this cetacean bollocks. Is it like in every sort of ship? Like, would it be on DS9? Would it be on Voyager?
Probably not
Probably
DS9.
not DS9, but
I mean,
maybe Voyager, but probably not DS9.
Would it be on the Enterprise E
Yes, probably.
and the Defiant?
No. Defiant's a warship. There's not an
Yeah.
exploration
Okay,
vessel.
just curious. I mean, honestly, this thing, I have no fucking idea about this shit. But nevertheless, we get to see a couple of dolphins. Do you remember their names? I didn't note them down.
Not off the top of my head. I have to look it up.
No problem. But yes, they go there because for some reason to access this last bit of hull plating, they have to go through the citation bits with some help with the dolphins, swim in there and remove it from the inside underwater. And prior to Boimler doing it, Mariner gets all bitchy again. And then Boimler puts her in her place before Tendi. I love it when Tendi loses her shit. She has moments where she loses her shit, and that's my favorite part with Tendi. And she loses her shit. Goes, where are your fucking family? Then go back to your mum and make up with her for fuck's sake and stop being a dumb bitch. I fucking loved it. And then Boimler obviously decides to be the person to go down there because Rutherford then tells him, look, you want to, do more. What was the word?
exploring.
Exploring. Was it exploring?
I thought it was exploring.
I might have written it down here, but nevertheless, because there was something earlier on regarding him, doing more stuff, and this was an opportunity for him to do more stuff. And Rutherford mentioned that to him, so here's your opportunity. And so he goes down there, removes the plating. As he's trying to come back, he gets stuck. His suit is full with water as well, and eventually the dolphins save him. And they mentioned, go on.
Just intrude. They were in fact beluga whales, not dolphins, and the names were Kamolu and Matt.
Thank you very much for correcting me. I like the fact that they mentioned, he mentioned Captain Freeman Day for them, and the beluga whales responded by saying, that's for calves, which is basically kids, which was a nice little touch there and stuff like that. I swear one of those whales was a little bit horny, I'm not sure if you guys picked up on that as well, but this is lower deck, so I'm not absolutely surprised.
Yeah, the dolphin saying, "Why don't you jump in with your sweaty body and take off your clothes?"
But yeah, hopefully we'll see more. We'll see more. I like the fact that they're wearing uniforms as well.
Oh yeah, they were actually part of the crew.
Yeah, so which is pretty cool. But this is this for me is like Sequest DFE. I would love Sequest to come back again. Please, reboot that show. So
I never watched it. I don't remember what it was on when opposite when it was on, but I didn't watch it.
My dad watched it, and I watched it here and there. So I mean, I remember it. I remember the lead actor from Jaws was the captain, and
Yeah.
Darwin.
Oh yes,
Darwin
yes,
the
Roy
dolphin, and
That's right. It was opposite Lois and Clark: New Adventures of Superman.
Roy Schneider did it first, and then Michael Ironside did the second season.
Yeah.
And it became a bit more militaristic as well after that.
Yeah.
But I remember that, like how Sequest was as like the only parts of the world we haven't really explored is the ocean and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool.
I
They went to
remember
space or
because
something.
there was a hot redheaded chick out there named Stacy. Something was the actress, Heideck, I think, who had been on Superboy as Lana Lang. Yeah. And I was like, okay. So she's moved on to Sequest. Meanwhile, there's a new Superman on opposite. Interesting.
Yep.
Never mind me. Go ahead.
No problem. Now, Mariner. Whilst all this is happening, Mariner's on the bridge, working on the bridge, and then they crash into, Commander Ransom is trying to navigate the ship. Unfortunately, he's unable to avoid a particular asteroid and crashes into it, and that means that Mariner then ends up floating outside. Now, the whole time I'm thinking to myself, why are people worried? Just fucking use the transporter and get it back inside again. No fucking problem. She's not going to be lost into space if you've got a fucking transporter, for fuck's sake. You can get her again, no problem.
But I feel like, and just to counter that, on a normal basis, yes, but a lot of their power was down, and b, who knows what kind of interference there was in that psionic energy, so they probably couldn't.
I guess, yeah.
So I mean, you're right. Like if this were like any other situation, like why, you're right. Why bother? Just beam them back. But it's like, I think they kind of set up the perfect storm here for themselves to make it so that all the Starfleet conveniences couldn't help them. They had to actually do an analog.
Well, fortunately for Mariner, somehow Jennifer was able to get out there really quickly and rescue her and bring her back in.
Was it in this episode of the last one where Mariner said, "I know you hate me, Jennifer," and Jennifer's like, "I don't even know you."
Yeah. I don't even think about you, and that was this episode. Yeah, which is true, but I think like it's amazing. Like, you don't even understand their beef. Like it wasn't even explained, but they have a beef regard. But then again, someone like Mariner, I'm not surprised she has a fucking beef with everybody.
Yeah.
So she has this issue with Jennifer for some reason. Jennifer doesn't even acknowledge her, and that probably pisses her off even more. But now Jennifer saves her life. They become fucking friends. And I'll tell you one thing: some people in my life who I'm friends with, honestly, I didn't like him initially. Even people like Vance, we become good friends, and we started off on the wrong fucking foot. With me ripping on one of his fan films, but we now become very good friends. My best friend Ray in England, we fucking hated each other. Now we become good friends, and I think Jennifer and Mariner are going to become good friends in the future, in my opinion. Maybe just a little bit more. It was the same type of storm Enterprise encountered, where they cowered in the nacelles to survive.
Yeah,
I remember that episode where they all had to set up camp in the nacelles to protect them. But that's weird because they didn't go through that. They didn't remove any of their hull plating.
But they were on like impulse or whatever. They had to hide in there to avoid getting fried from the radiations outside.
So why didn't anyone on the Cerritos get fried?
That's not my department, damn it, Jim.
Well, We now cut to the Archimedes, and it looks kind of bleak for them. Sorry, what was her name? Sonia Gomez. She basically tells her crew, "Listen, if you stay at the back of the ship, you've got a better chance of surviving." But they obviously have a bond with their captain. I like the way there was a West Indian, a Caribbean member of crew. I've always said there needs to be, America is 5% of the fucking population, and everyone in Starfleet seems to be American, and it really pisses me off that there's not enough nationalities in Starfleet. And I really appreciated hearing somebody from the Caribbean, as part of her crew. So that was nice. I forgot the character's name.
Yeah, if you're going to populate an Earth ship that truly represents Earth, the majority of the crew should be female. The majority of the crew should be Asian.
Yep. And India and China should be represented the most.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
And then, eventually the European influence. But, I mean, there's so dang many people from Earth who aren't white, who don't have American accents, that really should be represented more throughout. That, it's a pity it's all cast in Hollywood.
Well, even fucking the aliens, as I said before, they have American accents too. Listen to Tendi, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Listen to Shax.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Shax has a Bajoran accent.
I mean, they could get away with that
Tennessee.
They could get away with that on Doctor Who. And the doctor just flippantly says, well, lots of planets have it north. But in Star Trek, I think we need a bit more as to why does everybody sound like they're from LA or Brooklyn or whatever.
Yeah.
Brooklyn, yo.
Totally
why does Captain Picard sound English and not French?
I totally agree. Well, everyone in Hollywood who are from France end up sounding fucking English. You watch the Musketeer movies, they all sound like they're fucking English. If you play bloody Assassin's Creed Unity, they sound fucking English. It's always been like that for some goddamn reason. I don't know why, but anyways, and I don't agree with it, by the way. I totally don't agree with it. So we cut to the Archimedes, as I said, the ship's about to crash. Gomez tells everyone to go to the back, but her crew's loyal to her, and they don't, and they're willing to all die together. And as they enter in the atmosphere, boom, the Cerritos is there with a tractor beam and saves the fucking day. And yay, everything's hunky-dory. And because of what's happened to the Archimedes, it's down to Freeman to make first contact, which is a really nice touch, by the way, that the Cerritos and the Cerritos crew are making first contact.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much like that. And the people of Laperia seem to be pretty cool. They look like
Lizards.
No, but it's like that aqua sort of thing, You ever see Monster Squad?
No.
Oh god, there's a film from the 80s. The evil fucking sort of sea creature.
No.
But they look like those, but nevertheless, and they like to have a good time and stuff, which is good to know. And they get Captain Freeman drunk. And Captain Freeman now is Wolfman has nods. Yes, Daniel Vance. I love this guy so fucking much. Anyway, we Captain Freeman. She gets a bit drunk, and then she realizes that she loves her crew too much, and regardless of the promotion and all of that, she wants to stay on the Cerritos. And
we can come back to it, but I don't agree with that. But you can go ahead and keep going.
I have actually missed a little bit, by the way. I'm going to get to this now before I go to the end. We have a moment with Rutherford where he bumps into with all the fucking images. And there's a nice moment as well with Rutherford regarding Billups, where Billups tells him, look, you don't need to back up your files, because Rutherford's obviously scared of losing his memory again. So he's backed up his file. But Billups is becoming a really stand-up guy, by the way. I'm liking Billups a lot. But he gives some good pep advice to Rutherford. Rutherford takes it on board. But later on, when he's got no choice because he can't see shit, he ends up having to delete files. And when he does that, he ends up reciting a memory that he once had when the visor was inserted on him. So, motherfuckers, give me your conspiracies, Steve.
So they said, are we sure we want to put this in them without his consent? Yes, let's go ahead. We must. Section 31? That's my speculation.
Well, we never got to see who. I mean, they come across as human from the
Yeah,
in
it's
the
just
outline,
shadows. It's just shadows, but
but we never got to see their features or anything. So they could be Bajorans for argument's sake, you know. But
I don't feel like it's good. I mean, why would it be? Why would Section 31 want? I mean, maybe they want eyes and ears everywhere, but like, why would they need eyes and ears on the Cerritos? I mean, I feel like it's going to have something to do with what Zam will get to in a minute at about the end of the episode and why Freeman's in the situation she's in.
excellent,
So
actually.
that's my thought is that's where that's going to come into play. But
That's absolutely excellent, by the way, Bob. But yeah, that was a nice little moment, and obviously that's going to be something that will lead into season 3 for sure. So going back to Captain Freeman, she's going to about to turn down the promotion, and she goes to see these Starfleet officers who are on the Cerritos now, and she's going to tell them that she's going to turn down the promotion, but they're not there to promote her or to take her to a new ship. They're there to arrest her. Now, there's one moment here that made me fucking laugh so much. It was Shaq saying, "I'll kill you," like that.
I did. I loved it too. I busted out laughing when it. I'm just like that makes him coming back to life almost worth it. You know, like
Yeah,
that whole fiasco, and I'm just like, oh, I love Shax.
I love Shaq, which is why I was so heartbroken when he died. But Jesus Christ, I mean, I'm over the episodes. I'm happy that he's back, but at the same time, I wish they never brought him back. But we've already spoken about that before.
It made his death and his sacrifice less impactful, in my opinion.
It's going to make a future character's death less impactful as well. You know, unfortunately,
we never know when they're going to pop back up.
Yeah, if they do, and so we'll expect them to pop back up.
Well, yeah, but they were just playing off of the fact that yes, an awful lot of characters died and returned over the years throughout Star Trek.
Yeah.
So I felt like that should have been okay. Not to get on this tangent, but I really felt like that.
I don't want to get on the tangent.
I really feel like that should have been over an episode, like not a like. I don't know. It felt like it was drawn out a little. Like I felt like he should have died at the beginning of the episode, and then by the end he was back. Not like at the end of season 1 he died, and then at the early season 2 he was back, because the Temerian. I was excited for that Temerian security officer, and we can talk about this in the season recap this weekend, but like he was completely underutilized. Like he was in a couple scenes, but
yeah, he got turned into a fucking puppet on his.
Yeah, on his first day. Like, I mean, I guess that should have been foreshadowing right there.
Yeah.
I don't think he was underutilized, but because they don't really focus on the actual senior staff as much as all that.
But I meant like he was supposed to take Shax's place. Like
I think actually, in my opinion, I think they focused more on the season stuff than I expected them to. I really thought it'd be more on the lower decks, but the senior stuff, you know, pretty much every episode at some point has a role to play.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's really like from the lower decks right to the senior stuff. There's no real in between. You know, there's not enough, you know, lieutenant commanders and lieutenants and stuff like that. You have Billups, and then you boom straight to fucking Commander Ransom and Captain Freeman. Anyways, so they take Captain Freeman away because apparently she, I didn't know the Pakled home planet was blown up.
Yeah, didn't she?
That was a bit of a new one to me.
I mean, it apparently happened. It apparently happened while they were on that mission.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, with the hat mission.
Huh?
The one where everyone had to wear bigger hats.
No, apparently it sounded like to me while they were rescuing the Archimedes, the Pakled planet was destroyed.
But they accused her of smuggling the bomb on the planet during that mission they were on.
Because you saw that Pakled spy. He was wearing the Cerritos shirt.
Yeah,
remember in the images. It was during that mission.
Yeah, they said that during that mission it was smuggled. Like Freeman smuggled the bomb on there, and then obviously the bomb didn't go off until this mission that we had this week. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they connect the dots to Freeman, because I mean they can't just say, "Oh, you're being accused." You know, and they're not going to be like, oh, well, one of your crew members did this. So like they got to have, there's got to be some kind of proof, whether it's fabricated or not. There's got to be some kind of proof that links that mission with Freeman to her, because obviously they'd be arresting more than just Freeman if there were collaborators.
Yeah, I think
Totally
it has.
agree.
I think it has to do with Section 31 and Rutherford's implant.
Now, do you remember that
Could be.
episode of? There was one actually. Well, there's a handful of episodes of Enterprise I thoroughly enjoyed. One of my favorite ones was the one where the Andorians were believed that the Vulcans had some sort of secret hideout on this mining planet.
That's like
And
one of the first, like that's like what first couple episodes of season 1. I love that episode.
Yeah,
and the Andorians come across as like, you know, paranoid fucking idiots, you know, unreasonable and stuff. But we found out at the end that that they were right all along. I feel that Captain Freeman did do this. I think that's going to be the twist. There's some, you know, maybe she didn't orchestrate the Archimedes thing, but she definitely did do this, plant this bomb and stuff because of what the Packleys did in the first season.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Think I don't think. I mean, it would be a twist, definitely, if she did it, but I don't know.
Do you suppose it might be tied into your theory about the Vulcan from last episode, Tallinn being a Romulan spy?
Maybe. We didn't see her this. Yeah. I just realized that we didn't see her this episode. I was expecting to see her on the Cerritos.
Oh, okay. I'm not so sure, to tell you the truth. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe that could tie in. But
I believe when they arrested Freeman, they mentioned the Klingons who had been supplying the Packlids and all that. So,
I mean, a lot of these things can come into play. But if whatever they do next season regarding this, they're gonna have to resolve it within the first couple. You know, they're gonna have to complete this up within the first couple of episodes. And however it resolves, you know, see where it goes from there. Like if Captain Freeman is guilty and she ends up becoming a renegade Marquis person or something like that, and then that's how art takes it that way, something along those lines. I don't know, but I personally would love the fact that she did do it. That would make me very happy because that would be a twist that I saw coming. But it's out there now anyway. At least you guys won't be too surprised if you found out that she did do it. But that was very unusual. Obviously, you want to believe that she didn't do it, and she gets arrested. Everyone like that when they saw her leave with the cuffs and stuff. That did also make me laugh. I think it reminded me of South Park and stuff like that, with that, you know, with all the crowd being shocked and stuff. But nevertheless, she gets arrested, she gets taken away, and we have a very somber ending to the episode with a to be continued. And you know for a fact when there's a to be continued at the end of a season, they're expecting a next season. No, it doesn't happen all the time. Sliders being a
think
show.
I think they've already confirmed it for the season.
For sure.
I think they're ready for the fourth
season. But you can tell that they believe in the show when they're willing to end the season with a to be continued. Yeah. And I very much appreciate that, and I can't wait for season fucking 3. We have to wait a goddamn year. A goddamn fucking year.
Yeah. By
that time, Jack Quaid would have made the Scream show, which he's in, and the Scream movie, and he'll also be in Boys season 3. So hopefully he'll get all that shit done, and then he'll get straight onto Lower Decks and do his voice recording for that.
By then, we will have had 4 more MCU movies.
Yeah. So there's
maybe 5. I'd have to count them up.
Well, okay. What do you think of that ending, boys? I'll start with you, Steve.
Are we going to mention Tendi not actually being transferred off the ship, but rather
actually, I'm glad you brought
into the sciences division.
I'm actually glad you brought that up, Steve, because as I mentioned earlier, that she's going to probably be given she's going to probably get a promotion as well, in my opinion, and now she's going to be more in charge, which is going to be interesting. I think someone like Boimler deserves a fucking promotion.
He got a promotion. They fucking took it away from him.
Yeah, good point. But what he's done, but this season, what he's done on the Cerritos, you know, he's done some good shit on the Cerritos. Like when he saved Tendi when she turned into a fucking giant scorpion. Yeah. You know, like that. You know, that was thinking on his feet, and the whole plating thing as well. You know, was thinking on his feet. He's done some good stuff this season, Boimler. He's not like being an idiot like he was in season 1. Whilst so I think even Rutherford as well. These guys have all looked like they definitely deserve a promotion. So I'm looking forward to that.
Are we going to see Captain Ransom in charge next season, or somebody else brought in to take over the ship?
I think somebody else will be brought in. Because they mentioned she mentioned that, didn't she? Freeman mentioned there'll be somebody else.
Jellicoe.
That would be amazing.
Jellicoe from Next Generation.
Is that actor still around?
Probably not. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But I
don't care. Like, get it. There's plenty of voice imitators out there.
We're talking Dick Jones from RoboCop here. I mean, he's very old now. So.
What are you talking about? I'm not old.
Wait, no. If they can get him to pull it off, then fair enough. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Whoever they get, they might get somebody who was a commander in some of the previous shows, maybe Worf.
I think it would be interesting to see at least
captain.
I would think it would be interesting to see Ransom as acting captain, because again, let's be real. This is not a flagship of the Federation. Like, a commander can command. Like, they had a commander managing Deep Space Nine, which was a freaking hotspot of the universe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that crazy to think of a commander commanding a vessel, like, especially of a smaller scale like the Cerritos.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. But I wouldn't mind. I think maybe in a season or two, I wouldn't mind Ransom getting a promotion himself.
Captain Harry Kim.
Captain Harry. The Eternal Ensign. Sam always gets triggered at that. Here's one of my issues though. It's like, like Freeman's going for a promotion and then they nerf it again. Like, people in this show just cannot get promotions. Like, people cannot be ensigns forever except for Harry Kim. Like, I don't understand. And I'm hoping at the beginning of next season we'll see all of them, or at least two out of the 4 getting a promotion. I don't expect Tindy to get at least I didn't expect Tindy to get a promotion, because in episode 1 of season 1, she was brand new, just off the Justice for Kim. Yeah, Justice for Kim.
Well, look,
Tindy was
his arc isn't over yet, so we never know.
That's true.
But no, I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot.
Thank God for that. But yeah, excuse me.
I want some promotions, and I want them to stick. I don't want it to be like Blamler, where they actually gave him a promotion and then they booted him back to.
Well, look, you got TNG, DS9, and Voyager to pick somebody from those shows and make them a captain, in my opinion, on the Cerritos, and I wouldn't mind that if they did that. It'd be good fan service.
I don't think it would be Kim at that point, though. This has only been 5 years past Nemesis. Yeah. Is it 5 years past Nemesis or 5 years past the end of Voyager?
Something like.
So I don't
like Worf. I think Worf would be a great choice.
I think if Aaron hadn't have died, Captain Nog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, he wouldn't be. Yeah, he wouldn't have been a captain
either.
Yeah, he would probably be like a lieutenant at best.
Yeah, lieutenant commander. Yeah, I think Nog and Harry Kim would probably not be captains at this point in the story, because this is only 5 years after, whether it be Nemesis or whether it be past the end of Voyager. Like, regardless, I don't think they're going to make captain status. Now, you might get like a Commander Nog if it's after 5 years after Nemesis. Then you might get maybe a Lieutenant Commander Kim.
Geordie LaForge.
Ooh, Captain LaForge. That would sold. I want it.
There's him. Even Troy. I wouldn't mind Troy having a shot at captain.
Yeah, but she's with her husband on the Titan, and I know you can probably separate them, but I mean,
Okay.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
According to Memory Alpha, the official Star Trek wiki, Lower Decks season 1 is 2 years after Voyager Endgame. After the Voyager returns.
So 2 years after Voyager ended.
Returned, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I mean, Kim and Nog would probably not be up there in rank, really. I mean,
Nog might be.
He was only what, a lieutenant or an ensign?
Yeah, but he
was a cadet. The last, wasn't it?
He was a Ferengi who knew how to hustle, get his on.
Well, I still don't think he would be anything more than at best a lieutenant, after only for 2 years. Come on, Harry Kim was an ensign for 7.
You got Dax as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean they could bring what's her face back. They could do Esri Dax.
And so this so many choices. I mean, we are like just speculating here, and there's a good chance that this will happen. I would have mentioned Tom Paris earlier, but I don't think he was a captain when he made his cameo.
Was he still lieutenant or was he
a commander? I think he was a commander.
Was he a commander?
I think. Don't quote me.
Hold on, I got an image here.
Memory Alpha, the official Star Trek wiki. I ain't going back.
God, you got oh God, I can't believe his name escapes me now. The Vulcan from Voyager.
He just so you know, Tom Paris is a lieutenant. He has 2 pips on his collar.
Tuvok was supposed to be the in Nemesis. We saw, I think it was actually a deleted scene, but
he was supposed to be the first officer.
Yeah, Riker was going over his crew roster for the Titan, and Tuvok was
Tuvok was one of them. Yeah,
like first officer, security officer, something like that.
Yeah, for some reason it takes Vulcans longer to get promoted, but they live longer for some, and so they end up getting promoted a lot.
They take their time; they don't care.
But I wouldn't mind Tuvok would be a good one. It'd be a nice contrast as well. I mentioned Worf earlier, but him and Shax's a bit too similar. But
Tuvok would be a good one, I think. If Tim Russ came back and did the voice, I think that would be good.
I'm trying to encourage the return of Lieutenant J, who was a background character on Next Generation, and I'm friends with the actress that played her. So
we really need to have a scene with O'Brien sometime, like with the voice actor. Like he doesn't have to be captain or anything like that, but like he's maybe doing like experiments in the warp field or whatever. I would love to have an episode where O'Brien comes back.
He was
Chakotay would be a good one as well, by the way.
Yeah, he was. O'Brien was supposed to be going to be Academy.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant though. Like he might be at the Academy, but he's also working with R&D, maybe doing some sides. You know, he's doing a side hustle. O'Brien's busy. He's the most important man in the universe.
That's true. And Chakotay, well, he's Chakotay.
He's gonna be in a Prodigy.
Yeah.
Captain Chakotay is going to be in Prodigy, which I was very surprised to hear.
It's gonna be interesting how they're gonna shoehorn, him in that. So it's gonna be interesting. Is he gonna be a holodeck character?
It says it's a reoccurring role, is what they said. So that's why I'm like, so is he going to be in every episode or at least every couple? Like,
bear in mind, Admiral Janeway is going to be on as a hologram. So,
well, Captain Janeway's in just a hologram, but I don't think I think they meant Captain Chakotay is going to be in the show. It just makes me wonder where this ship is taking place at, or where this stuff is taking place, because they said the Delta Quadrant is like Chakotay now, like the Delta Quadrant liaison or something like that. Like
something.
I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know how much they're trying to steer everything towards Star Trek Online. I know that when they were putting together Picard, they had done some consultation with Star Trek Online people, to try to figure out how to head in that direction. So maybe, who knows, we'll see what happens. But Chakotay is one of only a few Voyager characters who are not in Star Trek Online. He and Janeway, I think, are the only ones from the original, from Voyager, that are not part of that game. Captain Kim is there, but that's Chakotay.
Captain Kim?
Mm-hmm, Star Trek Online.
That's good. He gets promoted.
You have a mission with him.
Yeah, but Star Trek Online takes place 30 years after Nemesis.
Yeah.
So,
30 years after Nemesis. So,
yeah, Star Trek Online takes place 30 years after Nemesis, even though you got, Connie classes flying around.
Yeah.
You truly thought?
No, Star Trek Online is technically beta canon, but they do reference it, a lot of stuff on Star Trek Online. So don't be surprised when things from Star Trek Online shows up.
This close to being canon.
Yeah, but technically my philosophy on Star Trek Online is unless something contradicts it, it's canon. That's to me.
That's what I say about anything and everything, whether it's the books or even the video games, or even the commercial where, they're selling Hallmark ornaments. As long as there's nothing in there that screams, we're staring at the camera and playing with you, and nothing in the series that is canon contradicts it, sure, we'll take it as canon. Why not?
Yeah, that's why that's kind of like Star Wars with me. It's like I feel like anything's canon until something in canon contradicts it.
Yeah.
But that's my head canon.
Yeah, regarding Star Wars, I want the fucking sequel trilogy to be eradicated.
Oh god.
This is just say it was a mistake. Honestly, it was the biggest mistake they've ever made. It so just get rid of it.
Back to the Lower Decks.
Back to Star Trek now. So this has been a fantastic season, season 2. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Even the episodes where I had issues with, I still enjoyed it. There
was rarely an episode. I think there was like one, and I don't remember which one it was. We can talk about it during our season recap this weekend. So keep an eye out for that. But I really feel like this season upped from last season. Like last season, there was 1 or 2 episodes I had issues with. This one, I think it was like 1, maybe even only like a half an episode that I had an issue with, and it was nitpicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had pretty much a handful of it. Even like I said, this episode, my issue was the petulance of the crew when they found out the senior staff, that is, when they found out Freeman was going to be leaving. I think Shaq's coming back kind of bugged me.
Yeah, that's the thing that bugged me this season.
I don't think they were so much upset about her leaving as they were upset about that she hadn't told them.
Yeah, and Freeman then explained to Mariner that I was going to tell them eventually. But like it's still, but nevertheless, their reaction just didn't come across as very Starfleet.
Yeah.
And but other than that, fantastic show. Like, I mean, for two seasons of a show to be so excellent. Usually, Star Trek gets going after season 3, in my opinion, of any of their shows,
except for the original series.
Yeah, which only lasted 3 seasons itself. But
the first, it went backwards. The first season was great. The other two were like, wait, what?
Spock's brain.
But, well, at least we got Chekhov from season 2.
At some point, I would love to do an episode just picking apart the number of times that Spock alone died and was resurrected before Wrath of Khan.
I wanted Spock to become some sort of like deity in the minds of a lot of people in space, like a Jesus Christ from space. He died and he rose again. That would have been really good if they did that, but nevertheless,
I won't go into that tangent now, but I certainly could.
The whole season takes place in telepathic picture plot anyway, so it's all good.
That was one reference I loved in this episode, was when Boyne were about drowned and they pulled him out, and he said, "I saw a koala bear," which was a callback to like a first season episode where someone on the ship was trying to achieve nirvana.
Oh, I do remember that.
Saw a koala bear.
Like, why is there a koala bear?
I actually have no fucking idea what you guys are talking about. I can't remember
season
shit.
1, the one where Tindy's trapped with the guy she likes, and he starts to transcend, and then it's like super painful for him to like transcend into like nirvana. Remember, she messes up his little thing, and she's always trying to fix it and trying to make him transcend.
Maybe.
Yeah. Go back. It was great.
I was doing drugs then. Remember? So
I wasn't trying to call all that out, but
yeah. But anyways, nevertheless, fantastic season. This is my favorite Star Trek show ever. I love, and it's funny that it has to be a comedic show with a lighter tone, even though this one had a sad ending. But nevertheless, I love this show so much. This is like the best thing ever. It's so smart as well. Like I said, it's so well written. And it's got the right. I mean, like bringing back Sonia Gomez, fucking genius. So when that girl fell over, and she mentioned how she done worse in front of more intimidating captains, and Picard was a right arsehole in the first handful of seasons before he had his arc of opening up and being more friendly to the rest of the crew and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was great. A fantastic show. So what's next on the smorgasbord of Star Trek? I believe it's Prodigy.
Prodigy is at the end of this month, and then in the middle of next month, I believe, is Discovery.
So we're going to have 2 Star Trek shows.
The first time 2 Star Trek shows have been running concurrently since 2001, when Voyager, or I'm sorry, no, 1999, when DS9 season 7 aired its last episode, and the last episode of season 5 of Star Trek Voyager aired.
Yeah.
That is the last time that Star Trek has had 2 concurrent shows on at one time.
Yeah.
It's a shame they're not in the same timeline. But that would also be cool because with Voyager and DS9 they were in the same timeline.
Yeah.
I
was just going to say, I'm like, wait, I think they are right about, but I'm thinking of Lower Decks and Prodigy. Lower Decks and Prodigy probably have to be right around. I mean, they could be right around the same time frame.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even though you have a holographic Janeway, there's going to be Captain Chakotay. He was a commander in Voyager, so it's not like it's outside the realm for this to be. What would it be 4 years after the end of Voyager for Chakotay to be a captain?
2 years.
No, 4 years because we've gone through 2 seasons of Lower Decks.
Okay.
I can answer that question for you, Daniel, because you look at myself and Steve, and you can see our grays, and then it reminds you that you're old.
And I'm like a decade older than Sam.
There you go. And you look very good for your age, by the way, Steve.
Thank you very much. Back in my day, we only had one Star Trek.
And it only ran 3 seasons. We didn't have any of this 7-year bullshit.
It was on every single day in the afternoon.
I just want to hedge our bets here a little bit now because I can't fathom how, this is regarding Prodigy, I can't fathom how a Starfleet vessel ends up in the Delta. I mean, obviously Voyager did and the other one did, but this particular vessel, how it ends up there.
I think it's going to be an experimental ship by the looks of it.
And a hologram of fucking Captain Janeway. How the fuck is this possible? Can someone explain that to me?
The one thing I would need explained on this program is why do they have a Tellarite on board?
When Tellarites are from the Alpha Quadrant, yep. And he doesn't even have the big old beard.
You sure it's a Tellarite?
He's just a kid.
Oh yeah, they've said multiple times he's a Tellarite.
Yeah, but he's just a kid.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that could be explained at some particular point.
I mean, probably his family left the Alpha Quadrant, but that just makes me. But Captain, as I said, Captain Chakotay is going to be in it. So
yeah, I'm sure they'll explain it. It's just the question. It's just from right now. I'm curious for the answer.
Yeah, me too. There's a whole bunch of things that I need to be answered. I'm sure they won't be answered in the first episode either.
No.
But and do you know how long each episode is? We're doing 25 minutes, I guess.
I think they're half-hour things Lower Decks is.
This was a long
Decks
episode.
Was actually 29 minutes today.
Yeah, yeah. Nice 30-minute, pretty much half an hour episode.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised though, being a season finale. But when's Discovery coming out again?
Middle of November.
Damn, and that's when fucking Hawkeye comes out as well.
We're gonna have about 2 weeks. I think about a week or two. I think it's maybe a week later. Hawkeye comes out, so we're gonna be busy again. We're gonna get a couple week break where we don't have much going on, and then
because Titans is almost over. Titans is almost over.
Next week is Titan season finale.
For me, in my time warp behind the times, I'm looking forward to November 12th because that's when Shang-Chi drops on Disney Plus, which I'm sure you guys already saw at the theater.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So
I refuse to go to a cinema whilst we're in COVID.
I went to the cinema and I risked it and I survived, believe it or not. But I wore a mask and I was very safe.
Yeah. So.
And I've been vaccinated, so.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And let us hear it for our hour-long Borg Lower Decks ASRM video Star Trek release. Laugh out loud.
Listen, as long as the Borg are in a hot tub, doing the you guys have never seen the Twitch thing, okay? It's popular right now. There's people on Twitch that are doing ASMR videos where they're.
What the hell is ASMR? What the hell is that?
It's audio sensory. Hold on, I've looked it up before. ASMR. But basically, autonomous sensory meridian response.
Meridian response. That's the M and the R's in the wrong place. Should be response meridian.
No, it's ASMR.
Oh, he put ASRM. My bad. See, look.
Oh, is it ASRM? No, it's ASMR. So is the definition
Sounds like
is
gives you
a
tingles.
relaxing, often sedative sensation that begins with the scalp and moves down. Wait, what? I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. Hold on. Let me try ASRM. ASRM. That can't be.
No, he's made a correction. Daniel,
So
it is ASMR.
yeah, just look it up on Twitch. You'll find plenty. There's just these yeah, and then hot tub streams. Oh god, they're everywhere. It's just
Hot tub.
it's disturbing, Sam. You'll probably disappear for a while if you look it up. So
Because sometimes I'm not sure if I want to discover these things.
you don't.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been a bit interesting and more tantalizing when I was younger, but now I'm older.
Yeah.
I don't, like these things just don't interest me as much as they once did.
Mhm.
You know, going down these rabbit holes, they scare me. When you hear a sound and it makes your hair stand on end or gives you peace, that's ASMR video.
I thought that's amore. I'm very, very old.
I get that reference. All right, so the lull is the lull is on its way before we kick off again for some more Star Trek. But tomorrow, just so people know, we're going to be doing Titans and Dark Side of the Ring. On Titans, we're on the penultimate episode. I really want to talk about that now because, boys, this show's starting to disappoint me now, big time. But nevertheless, we'll talk about that tomorrow. And regarding Dark Side of the Ring, we only got a couple of episodes of that too, as well, Bobby.
Like I said, if we could do an episode where we discuss all the deaths and resurrections of the original series, I would love to do that.
We can do that. I have a podcast called the Highly Illogical Podcast, and I can make that happen. We do, me and Zam do that on this channel every now
on the weekend. Yeah, we do it on the weekends as well, if that's possible.
Well, yeah, they've kind of been on hold a little bit just because we've been so busy with reviews. But like now that things are kind of died down a little bit, we have some open space in the docket. So maybe we can pull something together. So we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, with all the shows that have been coming up, I got even burnt out doing TikTok. So I'm happy to do your suggestion of the resurrections. When we, one weekend for sure, but preferably before Discovery kicks off.
Before
for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Or that will definitely happen. All right, so yes, don't forget to follow NerdTube tomorrow because we've got more live stuff coming up, as I said before, Titans as well as Dark Side of the Ring. And I will also be on the No Budget Productions doing the Critical Not Cynical podcast as well with Phil Ferrick, also known as Frank. But until then, thank you very much.
Down here.
And still, yeah, Steve, you're going to be on that as well.
Oh yeah.
Wonderful. So until then, Cousin Cheetos, thank you very much. Steve, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, not only to No Budget Productions, but also to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you never fucking heard of. And we'll see you cunts later. Left-handed Vulcan salute. Bye-bye.
Ciao.